intro. Your mic will be hot.
Join us, leave your field to flower. Join us, leave your cheese to sour. Join us, come and waste an hour or two. We've got magic to do just for you. Welcome to Studio Tenn Talks. Welcome to Studio Tenn Talks. I am Patrick Cassidy. I'm the artistic director for Studio Tenn, and tonight is a very special night. Tonight is our last show before we take a month for hiatus, and then we'll see. We'll see. A lot's going on. We're opening things back up. We've got a lot of live stuff about to start happening in July and August, and we're going to tell you a little bit about that. But we have saved one of the best for last in the show. This has been an incredible, this is our 52nd show. 52 shows during the course of the pandemic, going on almost a year and a half. It's incredible. I was talking with my brother Sean today on the phone, and he was saying the achievement that we've managed to do, everybody here at Studio Tenn, is really remarkable. And our guest tonight, his achievements are beyond remarkable. And what he has compiled is just, well, I'm just going to show you just one right now. Take a look.
I love bowling for buzzards. Gets them every time. Uh-oh. Hey, Timon, you better come look. I think it's still alive.
Alrighty, what do we got here?
Jeez, it's a lion. Run, Poopa, move it.
Hey, Timon, it's just a little lion. Look at him. He's so cute and all alone. Can we keep him?
Poopa, are you nuts? You're talking about a lion. Lions eat guys like us.
But he's so little.
He's gonna get bigger.
Maybe he'll be on our side.
That's the stupidest thing I ever heard. Maybe he'll be... Hey, I've got it. What if he's on our side? You know, having a lion around might not be such a bad idea.
So we're keeping him?
Of course. Who's the brains in this outfit? My point exactly. Jeez, I'm fried. Let's get out of here and find some shade.
He is unquestionably the brains in this outfit. He's an American actor, singer, and writer, 3-time Tony Award winner, as well as 6 Drama Desk Awards, 2 Obies, and the Olivier Award. Best known for his roles in movies and musicals such as The Birdcage, The Lion King, The Producers, Guys and Dolls, Laughter on the 23rd Floor, and so many, so many, so many more. Please welcome to Studio Tenn Talks, the incomparable Nathan Lane.
If I'd known you were going to do that Vegas-y opening, join us, you sang Magic to Do.
I did.
Well, I would have worn a glittery tux.
Oh, I should have given you a prep.
And joined you. Oh, baby. Well,
it's a nice welcome. It's
very.
We're gonna rewrite it when we come back. I promise.
Wow. Thanks very much for your kind introduction.
Oh God. How have you been? Where have you been? And who have you been during this last journey during COVID?
I've been well. My husband and I are we've been based in East Hampton for the whole pandemic, and we're fully vaccinated. We're doing okay. We've survived, and we adopted 2 rescue dogs. We named Woody and Bernadette.
After Alan and Peters?
Well, they came with those names.
Oh,
And I thought it was too traumatic. They've been through enough.
right.
Rescue dogs, that and then for me to start calling them Phil and Shirley, it just seemed cruel. Now they came with the names Woody and Bernadette. I don't know how Woody was he's just a year old now, but he was discovered wandering a highway in Maryland as a puppy, and Bernadette is she's about 10 years old. She's a beagle, and was used in a puppy mill for breeding, and was rather mistreated, and so I have a transient and a sex worker.
I understand.
Living with me now.
You keep talking about my life.
But they're sweet. They're very, very sweet, and it's I read this story where a lot of people rescued dogs in the beginning of the pandemic, and sadly, a lot of them are returning them. Because they're suddenly now people are going back to work, and things are opening up, and it's like,
and they don't have time to take care of the dog.
It's terrible. It's a terrible thing to have done. So a lot of dogs are being returned. So yeah. So in the words of Bernadette Peters, people should rescue a dog and keep them.
Yeah.
And take care of them.
That's right.
Yeah.
Tell me about, well, first of all, Nathan, thank you so much for doing the show and for being here and getting to see you. As I said during our little tech test, you look amazing. So the pandemic has in no way aged Nathan Lane. You look fantastic.
Thank you very much. Thank you. And you too.
Thank you. Tell me, I was thinking about this. How many live streams do you think that you've actually done during the pandemic? Because this is my 52nd, not counting the various few people who actually were interested in me. How many do you think you've done?
I don't know. I mean, I've done a lot of. First you had to do a lot of filming of yourself on your phone to send a video to help somebody. Right. And then I discovered the world of podcasts, and I was asked to do Mark Maron is sort of the mothership of podcasts, the WTF podcast, and then I was doing a lot of them. Initially I was promoting this series that I had done on Showtime, so I had to do a lot of press, and I wound up doing a lot of them. But yeah, you do, and I'm sure you did Seth's show. Yes, were you part of that? Yeah, Seth Rudetsky and his husband James. We did the producers reunion. Oh my God! Yeah, that's great. So I'm going to see how much research. You grew up in Jersey City, is that correct? That is correct, sir. I just recently did Finding Your Roots, PBS, the Henry Louis Gates series, which I love. And I love him. He's the greatest. So yes, I found out a lot about you, about my roots, about your roots. So you grew. Go ahead. No, it was. I mean, nothing terribly dramatic. I mean, it won't come as a shock to find out that I come from poor farmers, going back 200 years. A lot of with people with Irish roots, very often they can't go that far back because so many of the documents were burned in fires, and people got drunk and lost them. I was going to say, is that why I can't think back past 1970? Maybe. Well, maybe this was mine, but they were able to trace back 200 years to my great grandfather, grandmother, on both my mother and my mother's side and my father's side. So that was interesting, and I'm pure Irish. Pure. That's it. 100%. Yeah, 100% Irish. And I found out I am distantly related to Nora O'Donnell, the CBS anchor. Oh, wow. Yeah, well, I know. I was disappointed too. You open up a big book, and I saw the picture, and I said, "Who is this woman?" I bet they'll cut that out. Well, but how did she get in my book? He said, that's Nora O'Donnell, the CBS anchor. And then I recognized her, and I said, I hope I disguised my disappointment that it wasn't Lady Gaga.
Is there a chance, if I was to sort of look back at my roots, that maybe you and I could be related?
Who knows? Who knows? Yeah, possibly.
I'm hoping. I'm 75% Irish. 75.
75%. Yeah. And did your grandparents come from Ireland?
Yeah. County, not County Cork. From Dublin.
Dublin.
Mm-hmm.
Mine came from Galway, and then the other was Kenmare or Claddagh or something like that. And my father's side, they were all tenant farmers, and on my mother's side, they actually owned the farms. They were a little better off.
Wow.
They were all sort of really devastated by the potato famine. But that's no way to begin an interview. Did you always
want to be an actor growing up? Was that something? Or did you see yourself in movies, or was it always you were bound to be in the theater, or both?
I didn't really think about being an actor as a profession. I think I was fascinated by people who did it, by show business and the theater in particular. And I was a sort of voracious reader as a child, and then started reading plays but it wasn't until I was in high school that I thought, and I was doing plays in high school, that I thought maybe I could do this.
I heard that you dropped out of college shortly after entering. Is that true? Did that happen?
I wasn't in it long enough to drop out. I did go the day of registration. My brother drove me to. I had a drama scholarship to this place, St. Joseph's College in Philadelphia. And we had no money whatsoever. And so I had a government loan and, student loans and all that stuff. And we got there. I put my bags in the room. And then when I met with them in the registration office, they said, oh, you actually owe another, I don't know, $10,000, whatever it was. And I was like, oh, really? They said, it's fine. You'll take out another loan. So I was concerned. And then I said, let me talk with my brother. And so I was prescient about worrying about student loans. And he said to me, well, look, there's no reason you can't take a year off and work and then go to college. And I said, okay, that's what I'll do. And I think he was rather surprised that I made a very quick decision. And we went and got my bags, and we went back to Jersey City.
Wow. And
I went into show business. Not right away. Some family member got me a job at the 7th precinct in Jersey City. I was a bail interviewer. I would have to fill out forms for the court clerk for him to decide whether the person being arrested could be released on their own recognizance.
Oh,
who better than me, right out of high school, to do this job? And for some reason, I don't know, some family connection, I got this job, and then I did it for about 6 weeks, and then I went to work for this little theater company I had worked with during the summer, and they were putting together a show. It was leading up to the bicentennial. This was late 74, beginning of 75. The bicentennial was coming up, and they were putting together a musical review about the history of New Jersey called Jers.
I got it. Nearly 50 years ago. Tell me about the show that you toured New Jersey high schools entitled Jers.
I was filming recently. I was filming this HBO series, The Gilded Age, in Newport, Rhode Island, and I was having dinner with the director and some other actors, and this guy comes up to me, and he's in his late 50s, I would say, maybe a little younger, I don't know, and he says, "Did you do a tour of a show of schools in New Jersey. Did you do a tour of a show where you sang about New Jersey? Of all things that, to be recognized for. And I said, yes. And he said, you did a joke. He said, this is so humiliating. He said, you did a joke. You said if you were asking the kids if some question, and if they got the answer right, they would get a free tour of a free tour around Kate Smith. He said.
No.
I was young, and I guess maybe Kate Smith was still alive. I don't know. I did a Kate Smith joke for.
Did you write that joke?
I'm sure I did. I'm sure it was an ad lib, not scripted. So I was like, yeah, I don't. I'm sure I said that, but.
So who was the biggest sort of show business entertainer performer influence in your life growing up?
Oh, growing up?
Yeah.
Jackie Gleason.
Pretty good.
Jackie Gleason. Just couldn't wait to become a self-destructive alcoholic. Jackie Gleason. Well, Gleason, because I knew his, he was Irish, and he had come from extreme poverty, and he was this huge success, and also because he was so, he could do broad comedy, and then was so good at drama when he put his mind to it and was in a serious piece. He was sort of, I always thought he had the saddest eyes I've ever seen. Mm-hmm. It was a great deal of sadness going on there. But I was quite taken with Gleason.
And were you a Zero fan? Were you a fan of Zero?
Oh, I never saw Zero on stage. But I certainly from the film of the producers and the what's the other movie? The Front. He's great, so great in The Front. And but yeah, the producers I saw. I remember seeing the film in a revival house in L.A. with an audience and people just roaring, and I think that was the first time I saw it, and I was like, just.
Are there any roles in sort of early in your career that eluded you that you might have wanted to have played that you didn't get a chance to?
Roles that I haven't gotten a chance to do.
Yeah, like for example, I always wanted to play Curly in Oklahoma.
Right.
I missed it. I always wanted to play Danny Zuko in Grease. I was offered it, but I wasn't available. But I missed that one.
You could play old Curly.
Yeah, and really old Danny, really old Danny.
Throw in a few. I'll be happy to write some additional dialogue.
Would you?
They refer to. Oh, here he comes, old Curly. And he wants, it'll be about the box social. It's always about the box social.
Always the box social, yes.
He's too old.
That's right.
Old.
He's had knee replacement surgery. Yeah.
That's right.
But did you
audience sympathy? Were
there ones you missed that you would have liked to have done?
There's you mean roles that as a kid I wanted to do?
Yeah, like early, like for example, if you there were a part or two, maybe you didn't miss it. Maybe you just got every role you ever wanted to play.
No, not at all. In terms of musicals, I don't, there isn't, I got to do a lot of the ones I wanted.
The ones that you wanted.
Yeah. I can't, I'm trying to think of any of the, I wanted, when I was younger, although I could still do it, I did want to play the devil in Damn Yankees.
Oh, it's perfect. You could do it.
Because I used to sing the devil song for auditions. And so I have been, and then I was asked to do it, and I said no.
You could do it. You could do it for the next 10 or 15 years. You'd be great as Applegate.
Oh,
it's a great part.
Well, the old devil.
So
maybe I can bring you on.
here we go.
Curly.
I'll limp right in.
That's
So your career, unbelievable. I want to start though. Excuse me. I want to start with the Birdcage and Robin Williams.
Why not?
Hank Azaria, Gene Hackman, Diane Wiest, and of course Mike Nichols. Wow, what was it like working with that cast?
Well, great. It was a great experience. Mike was, he always used to say to me, Nathan, I only want nice people on this movie. Only nice people, no assholes. And I would say, oh, that's a good motto. I said, good. And he did. He got very nice people and were all very talented. It was one of those, it came about, I've talked about this many times. Steve Martin was supposed to be playing opposite Robin, and Robin was going to play the part I eventually wound up playing. And then Steve couldn't get out of a commitment. And so Robin then decided, because he had done Mrs. Doubtfire, he didn't want to be in a dress again. And he thought the other role would be more of a challenge. And so that role opened up, and Mike thought of me. And he came to see me in a play, and said he wanted to talk to me afterwards and about this film.
Well, let us show a clip of you and Robin, because it's fantastic. Take a look.
Oh, fuck him. Of course you can pass as an uncle. You're a great performer. I'm a great director. Together we can do almost anything.
Oh, Armand, really?
Absolutely.
Oh.
We've got 5 hours. All right, first, get your pinky down. It's up again. All right, and your posture.
Oh, my God! Are you crazy? What are you doing?
Stop screaming. I'm teaching you to act like a man. All right. All right. Now, this is a dinner party. Let's work with food. All right? Spread some mustard on the toast. Don't use the spoon, and don't dribble little dots of mustard.
No?
No. You take your knife, and you smear. Men smear.
Smear.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Get the goddamn pinky down. All right, make your fingers like iron, all right? Yeah, and stop trembling. Hold the knife boldly and with strength.
No, can I pierce the toast?
What was your favorite off-camera moment with Robin?
Oh, well, there were many. He was, he was a saint. He was the nicest, sweetest, most supportive, loving guy, and so dear. And I just remember how hot it was that day. That scene was supposed to be inside, and then the DP. He's now won like 3 Oscars. Emmanuel Lubetsky decided he wanted to do it outside. He liked the background better, and it must have been 105 degrees that day.
Oh no!
But anyway, he was. There were many. He came one day when I had to film this. There was a musical number that was cut where I sang the Sondheim song, "Can That Boy Foxtrot?" I had to do the whole number in the club, and he had a day off, and he came in just to be supportive, just to be there for me, which was so sweet. And there was one day Clint Eastwood came to the set because, and I was dressed, like Barbara Bush. And he was in his getup, and he said, Clint Eastwood is getting a haircut. I guess the woman who did hair on the movie had worked a lot for Clint, and he was going to some event and getting. Even legends can't resist a free haircut. He was there in this trailer, and Robin said to me, "Come on, let's go over and look at him." Clint Eastwood. I said, oh, I don't know if I want to meet Clint Eastwood dressed like this. He said, nah, it's fine. It's a movie. And so we waited, and Clint Eastwood came out after his haircut, and, you know, he chatted with Robin, and and he introduced me. And then as a joke, as he was leaving, I said, Mr. Eastwood, if you're ever doing another Western, I hope you'll consider me. and he said, yeah, maybe for the school marm. Pretty good for Clint Eastwood.
Really good. What a response.
Yeah, cut to him talking to a chair at the Republican convention. But it was very sharp that day.
I've seen so much of your work, Nathan. The People versus O.J. Simpson, F. Lee Bailey.
Oh yeah,
F. Lee. Look at you. Look at you as F. Lee Bailey. How did you prep? How did you prep for that?
I look like that a lot because I hate courtroom scenes. Nothing worse, especially if you're not the one doing all the talking. It can be a little tedious. Nobody. It was a very last minute piece of casting. They had cast the British actor Stephen. What's his name? Now I can't think of his name. He worked a lot with Hugh Laurie. Stephen Fry.
Okay.
Yeah. He's like 9 feet tall. And
dead wrong for F. Lee though.
And very British. And not that I'm a dead ringer for F. Lee Bailey, but he is short of stature.
Yeah.
And so I guess they just like the idea of a British actor doing it. And then somebody must have said, he's really tall. So anyway, so there was a last minute change, and then they, somebody said Kelsey Grammer fell out, and then they, called me. So I didn't have a lot of time, and they Ryan Murphy didn't want you to talk to the real people
at all.
Although some people did, Sarah Paulson did. She became quite friendly with Marcia. What's her last name?
Marcia Clark.
Marcia Clark.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is it. This is the beginning of my Alzheimer's.
There was a Bronco chase, Nathan.
I heard about that. Anyway, it was it was a great group of actors.
Oh yeah,
to hang out with, and and Courtney Vance is a very old friend. We had done a TV movie together years before called The Boys Next Door, where we were all severely mentally challenged.
Oh.
Yeah,
in the film or off screen?
In the film.
Oh,
it was anyway. I knew Courtney and I remember Courtney and I talked about this when we were filming The Boys Next Door in Toronto. There was a day when everybody was watching the verdict for the OJ trial, and when he was acquitted, everyone on the set was like, "Oh my God." And Courtney didn't seem upset by it. He was sort of, I think, rooting for OJ. So it was interesting, many years later for him to play Johnny Cochran. And he was,
it was the great performances. And Sarah, Golden Globe, yes? And maybe an Emmy?
She won. Yeah, she won. Yeah. They both won everything. Yeah. They were fantastic. And
so
it was fun. I did talk to F. Lee Bailey eventually, because I got a call that he wanted to speak to me after I had finished filming.
Oh,
and so I called him, and it was a little intimidating because it's not the most flattering portrait of
no.
Bailey. He had some issues. So
although he did nail Mark Furman.
Yeah, well, that
was a big moment for him in that.
That was the high point. Yeah. He was rather miffed that he wasn't being used that much in the
Right.
trial.
Right.
So, but he wanted to know. He was very charming and complimentary, and then all he really wanted to know was, how is Bob Shapiro portrayed in the show? That was, and I said not very flatteringly, and he said good. That was the only thing he was worried about. Even less about himself and more about just
Bob Shapiro.
Bob Shapiro. I said, yeah, it's not exactly a flattering portrait either.
Let's talk about To Be or Not to Be. Let's talk about your theater, the theater. Laughter on the 23rd floor. Funny thing happened on the way to the forum, your first Tony. The producers, your second Tony. Guys and Dolls, Angels in America, your third Tony. What is the best and worst thing that has ever happened to you in the theater on the stage?
The best and the worst?
And hopefully they're not the same, or maybe they are. I don't know.
Oh, well, it's hard to just pick one. I've been very, very lucky. I'm trying to think what was the worst. The best, I've had many bests, working with the people I've worked with, and whether it's Neil Simon or Tony Kushner or the best for me personally was doing the Iceman Cometh, which I did first in Chicago at the Goodman Theater, and then we did it at Brooklyn Academy of Music a few years later. And that for me was a real turning point in my career and a life-changing experience. So I think overall, I mean, there are parts. I mean, obviously the producers and Guys and Dolls and 92 and Angels in America, and there were many, working with Mel Brooks. All of these legends, but Iceman was really, for me personally, was just a life-changing experience, and a great, I got to work with a very, very old dear friend, Brian Dennehy, the late Brian Dennehy.
I often think, Nathan, that the 8-show-a-week schedule, which was definitely put in by a producer, it's difficult, and you're always, especially when you're doing a musical and you're constantly concerned about your voice. Do you find easier to do a musical 8 shows a week or a play, and for different reasons? I mean,
a play. Oh,
really?
Yeah.
Really?
I that's why I retired from musicals. No, 8 shows a week. It's insane.
I know.
That's why the opera singers only do like 3, maybe
That's
4.
Right.
4 would be a lot.
But the emotional journey in a play, I mean, where you have to sometimes go by the 5th or 6th show of the week, can be taxing too. See, I always thought that the music, sometimes when I was just dead tired, motivated me enough to get to the end of the performance.
I don't know. Sometimes when you're tired, those are the best performances, because you're not letting your head get in the way. It's just there's those end of the week shows sometimes turn out to be the best. I don't know. Angels in America, that even though one play is 3.5 hours and the other one is 4, the material is so brilliant and monumental that it's exhilarating to do those scenes. Oh my God, it's just incredible. And it's one after another. Yeah. And you think, this is maybe, the scene with the doctor where he tells him he has AIDS. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that. It's as good as it gets.
You you mentioned about Mel Brooks. Is he as everything as, I mean, I've seen him interviewed so many times that I've never met him and always wanted to. Is he as funny in everything that we see with him?
Yes. He's exactly what you would hope him to be. He's, wildly entertaining and smart, and like the material in The Producers is, it's everything from high to low. He's incredibly smart, and he's hilarious, and was very, he obviously wrote the book and the score, but he really let Susan Stroman directed and choreographed it, and didn't interfere in that way. And both he and the late Anne Bancroft were incredible cheerleaders for the show and for the cast, and were just so lovely. And
well, we have another little clip of you, Mr. Lane. So here you go, from The Producers.
Sure. Oh, the the dreaded film version. Yeah. Well, I like to call it it's the most expensive Lincoln Center archive recording
that you can only see once. Only once if you go to Lincoln Center.
Movie, that movie. That's a story. That we were trapped. We were trapped. Because God bless him, Mel. He loved the show. The show was one thing.
Oh, it was phenomenal.
And he and Tom Meehan and Stroman had really, and with the help of the late Mike Cochran, had really turned that screenplay into a Broadway musical.
Right.
And then what really needed to happen was to take that Broadway musical and turn that into a screenplay that would work for the musical. And that didn't happen. Mel just said, film the show. And that was her first movie, and she filmed the show. And I just remember thinking, well, how do you do it? The material hadn't changed. I was in London doing The Producers in the West End at the time, and they sent me the screenplay, and I said, this isn't any different than what I'm
doing right now.
Theater Royal Drury Lane. That's not good. That's not good. You can't have the little usherettes coming out. It's not good.
Okay.
And then, and then you can't do the independent film version of that material. Either you commit to it, the operatic size of it, or there was nothing we could do. I remember Matthew turned to me at one point and said, I don't know what to do. I don't know. I'm trapped between two worlds. I'm just going to do what I did in the play and hope for the best. It was, although I'll tell you, kids must have watched it on television or pay-per-view or wherever it's been shown. And they come up to me and say how much they love it. I get it. And it's great to hear your sort of, your take on that, how they train, but if any, and you're right. I mean, the live performance was amazing. It was amazing. But Nathan, you're still great. Matthew was still great. Well, it was, what the show had a kind of anarchy. There was anything might happen, which was very true. And also everyone, the entire company, they were just great, brilliant farceurs and knew how to handle that kind of material. It's difficult.
Yeah.
It's not, you can't just, it's not about naturalism.
No,
it's like commedia dell'arte. So it calls on a lot of different things, and that's a hard thing to translate to film.
You are, for me, one of the bravest actors I've ever seen working, and you appear. I mean, fear seems very easy for you, and I've been told actually that personally are you shy? And if you are shy, how does it sort of diametrically oppose those characteristics? How do they live together? And does it help your work?
Yeah, I am shy, but but nobody wants to hear that when you're my age. Get over it. You're gonna die soon.
Oh,
Stop being shy. You don't have much time left. No, I think the theater has always been an outlet for everything, and so no, I mean I in my work in the theater or whatever it is, I jump in and give 100% and don't look back. But yeah,
you change, and I want to show you. I'm going to show you the transformation that Nathan Lane is able to make in a variety of dramatic roles. Tell me about these different things. I want to show you some pictures from. So, what's the first one we have? So, who's that, Nathan?
Oh man, this is this was. Although this costume designer, she's no longer with us, and I can't. I would just ruin her name. I can't think of her name. She's Asian. She was brilliant. This was a movie, Mirror Mirror. I did with Julia Roberts. It's the story of Snow White. It was just crying out to be retold. This is one of those things where they said to me, oh, it's Julia Roberts, it's Snow White. you gotta work with Julia Roberts, and I was like, I don't know, and, will they let me improvise? And it was, and the director was insane, truly insane.
Well, let's move on to the next photograph. And who's that, Nathan?
Oh, and the hits just keep on coming. Although I love this design. This is Gary, a sequel to Titus Andronicus. This is a play by Taylor Mack. It was the last thing I did on Broadway. And that is the titular character, Gary. This set design was by the great Sandra Loquasto and the brilliant Ann Roth did this. We did this outfit. One of my favorites.
It looks like an orgy of mannequins going on.
Well, it's a pile of dead bodies. The aftermath of the play Titus Andronicus. And it was a big swing, a bold experiment for Broadway to do, a play, this downtown Taylor Mack play, in the middle of the Mall of America. So it was, it's a show. I dare speak his name. It's a show that I did for Scott Rudin.
Oh,
Scott was passionate about this play and about Taylor Mack, and in many ways, I did it for him because he was so passionate. It's not that I didn't like the piece, but I didn't think it was ready for Broadway. I thought, can we go somewhere and work quietly on this and figure this out? And Scott was like, no, we're going to do it on Broadway. I'm going to give it a first-class production, and Taylor Mack is a voice that should be heard. And I said, yeah, okay. And it was difficult because originally it starred Andrea Martin,
who's a very good friend of yours.
One of my closest and dearest friends, and she, broke 4 ribs. She slipped in a tub and broke 4 ribs, and could not continue. And then Christine Nielsen, the great Christine Nielsen, was playing this other part, and she moved into Andrea's part. And then the great Julie White came in and took over Christine's part. And in 7 days, they learned the show, and we did our first preview. It was extraordinary, and they kind of saved the day.
Oh, wow.
But it was not, that show was very divisive, and, people either loved it or hated it. And then it wound up getting 7 Tony nominations.
I want to show a clip of one of your Tony performances. Well, it just goes without saying. Angels in America. Take a look at this. Nathan Lane.
Yeah, who is this? The operator? Give me an outside line. Oh,
Well, then dial for me. It's a medical emergency, darling. Dial the fucking number, or I'll strangle myself with the phone cord. 202 733 8525. Oh. Martin Heller. Oh, hi, Martin. Yeah, I know what time it is. I couldn't sleep. I'm busy dying. Listen, Martin. This drug they got me on, azido, methadolo, molamoca, whatchamacallit. Yeah. AZT. I want my own private stash, Martin, of serious, honest Abe medicine that I control here in the room with me. No placebos. I'm no good at tests, Martin. I'd rather cheat. So send me my pills with a get well bouquet pronto, or I'll ring up CBS and sing Mike Wallace a song. The Ballad of Adorable Ollie North and his secret Contra slush fund. Oh, you only think you know all I know. I don't even know what all I know. Half the time I just make it up and it still turns out to be true. We learned that trick in the 50s. Tomorrow, you two-bit scum-sucking shit-heel flypaper insignificant dried-out little turd. A nice big box of drugs for Uncle Roy. Or there'll be 7 different kinds of hell to pay!
Wow. Need I say more? That's wow. Nathan.
Well, that's Tony Kushner, man. He's the best.
Oh, and playwrights. I was thinking as I was, we lost one of the greatest playwrights. This to complications of COVID, Terrence McNally, who I know you worked and friends. Yes, you guys were good friends.
Oh yeah, one of my best friends, and it was a 30-year collaboration, and yeah, he's certainly somebody who what we did, the first play we did was the Lisbon Traviata, which is a play that kind of changed my career.
And did you get to see him? I know obviously COVID and stuff, but the last time you got to see him before he passed?
We talked on the phone, and he was also dealing with he was a lung cancer survivor of many years, and then it had come back, and he was going through chemo. So and so he had respiratory issues, and then the COVID happened, and it was look, it's just a tremendous loss for the theater, obviously, and he was certainly one of my best friends, and yeah, I miss him every day.
Such a loss. Have you ever wanted to or have directed something that would you like to do? I would think you would be a wonderful director.
I would. It's come up. I've been told I should direct.
Yeah.
Anything to get me out of acting. If I need to do it again, really, time's running out. No. So I need to, I just have to find the right play. I mean, people have said, if you want to, Andre Bishop at Lincoln Center said, if you want to direct something, please, come and do it. And so I have to find the right piece. Something.
It would be great. You were part of a comedy team, Stack and Lane, right? For a few years. Is that true?
That is correct.
And did you ever think about stand-up? Was that ever part of your career plan?
That was
it.
We did it. That's in like the late 70s. I did do a little on my own by myself, but I worked with this actor, Patrick Stack, who in a little off Broadway musical review, and people thought we were funny together, and we wrote for some people, and then we eventually put an act together. and had a small degree of success. It was never really, the goal was not to become the greatest stand-up comedy team ever. We were two actors and hoped that it might lead to other work. But it was very sort of freeing in a way, because and also a tremendous learning experience of writing, just writing, directing, and acting in it, and taking this product around and doing it. And so we signed with William Morris and went to LA and did the Comedy Store and opened for rock acts, and it went for a few years.
Oh, that's great. So it's something you could come back to in our
something easy to fall back on, like
Lane and Cassidy.
Lane and Cassidy.
The Irish guys.
That's right. Yeah.
Okay, so we play a little game on this show. It's called Remember the Lyric. Okay. And I've done it with everybody. I got to sing "If I Loved You" with Kelly O'Hara. Patty and I did a little "Don't Cry for Me, Argentina." It's a lyric from a show or a movie that you did and you sang, and I'll sing the first lyric and then I'll point to you and hopefully you'll give me the comeback lyric.
I don't really sing anymore, but okay.
Okay, you ready?
Yes.
All right. Hakuna Matata. What a wonderful phrase. Hakuna Matata. Ain't no passing craze.
It means no worries. I have to go lower. It means no worries for the rest of your days. It's our problem-free philosophy. Hakuna Matata.
Yes, that's all I needed. Thank you, Nathan Lane.
That's Billy Eichner's problem now.
I got to sing Hakuna Matata. The greatest thing about this show, is I've gotten to sing with my favorite people some of the greatest songs that they ever got to sing. I got to sing with you. Thank you for doing that for me, Nathan.
Sure.
I appreciate that. And we play one other game on this show. It's called You Become the Host. You get to ask me any question you desire.
Oh, I get to ask you a question.
Anything you want.
Oh, well, how's your family?
That's good. That was safe. Patty, I always say this, Patty Lapone asked me, Patrick, how many women have you bedded?
Oh, yeah. Oh, well, that's a different kind of talk show.
I said only one of any significance, my wife of 27 years. So,
yeah. But 27 years. Well, that's congratulations.
We did good. They are all really good. Have you ever met my mom?
No. I've just loved her from afar.
She's watching tonight.
Is she? Oh,
she's 87 and she's great, healthy. Never wants to put on one thing of makeup or a hair person, or I had to beg her to do the family episode of the show. No, I don't want to do. Mom, hello.
Yeah.
But she's good.
She's earned that. Earned that right.
She has her and my siblings. I mean, we lost my brother David, unfortunately, a few years back. And but my brother Sean, my brother Sean is the executive producer for a little series that Deb Monk is on called New Amsterdam.
Oh, right. Yeah. He's been wildly successful.
Yeah.
A television writer.
So I'm going to say you have to hire Nathan Lane.
Okay. Yeah. No, I remember Sean Cassidy.
But they're all great. Anything else you'd like to ask? Any other question that comes to mind?
Yeah. Where you said we met at an opening night. What opening night was it?
I was trying to figure that out myself. We were at a bar. There was a bar. It's back to the Irish thing.
Yeah.
We were at a bar, but it was a private bar. Were you at the opening night of the revival of Assassins?
I might have been. It was the one Joe Mantello did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was there.
I was there. Maybe that was it.
And you couldn't have been kinder.
No.
I have said this, Nathan. I said it to you many times. This interview for me is a beyond thrill. I think you're amazing, and you're everything that you're even more as a person. You're so great and so generous. Thank you.
Well, it's been my pleasure. Is it over now? Is it over? Are you saying goodbye?
No, I would stay with you for hours. What else would you like to speak about?
I mean, you've only picked some of the worst movies I've ever been in.
I wouldn't say the Birdcage was the worst.
No, not the Birdcage. No, of course not. Thank God I did it. No, I saw a mirror.
Oh, wait. Well, then let's talk about one of the best films that I ever saw.
Yeah.
No Pay Nudity. Are you familiar with this one?
Sure.
There we are. There we are. Nathan, look at that transformation.
Yeah. Well,
you became Gabriel Byrne.
Gabriel. I'm a little dog. She's holding. Yeah.
I saw you in that movie.
Our mutual friend, Lee Wilcoff.
Lee Wilcoff. He was
the great Lee Wilcoff.
He's the reason actually that I got to reach out to you.
Right. He gave you all my personal information.
He gave me a few things. Please, after the interview, don't go back and say, I'll never speak to Patrick Cassidy.
No. Yeah, Lee, when we were doing the Iceman Cometh together, Lee was absolutely brilliant in that. And he said to me, "Can I show you something?" And he showed me the screenplay, and I thought it was great. And he said, "Would you want to do it, be in it?" And I said, "Sure, yeah, why not?" And I don't know how he did it, but he gathered together a lot of
incredible cast,
wonderful actors, and everybody. Ann Roth, the great Ann Roth,
Donna Murphy, yes,
Donna Murphy, Boyd Gaines, Conroy, and of course Gabriel Byrne, who was just wonderful. But I've done 2 movies with him. A lovely, lovely man and actor. But yeah, he did it. He pulled it off. And I had such a good time working with all those people, and the material was good. This is something Lee sort of wrote with Ethan Sandler. I think they sort of wrote it together.
I love him. He is a great man. And,
yes, he is.
And I thank you. And I thank you again for doing this for us, for the theater company. It is.
I'm glad you've survived and are reopening.
Pushing forward. Nathan, I will call you if I come to New York. Could we have a lunch or a meal?
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
You're amazing. Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
My heart.
You're very, very sweet, Patrick, and very committed. Thank you. Thanks. Great to talk to you.
You too, Pell.
All right. Bye.
Wow. Nathan Lane, ladies and gentlemen, we are so blessed. We have been so blessed this last almost year and 4 months that we've been doing the show, and I want to just thank first of all of you for watching, for tuning in, for contributing and donating and keeping us here. I want to thank the incredible staff for Studio Tenn Talks, our managing director, Mr. Todd Morgan, and our incredible producer, advancement development director. I could nowhere near do this show without William Geis. And a special shout out to my assistant intern for over a year now, who has helped me every week with Studio Tenn Talks, Cameron Skillen. Normally we do this goodbye song. And it started with the idea of what Carol Burnett would do at the end of her show. I'm so glad we've had this time together. And I want to list the people that have done this show, gave of their time, gave of their talent, because I am so grateful to know them and to have had them on this show. And they go: Rex Smith, Susan Egan, Adam Pascal, Emily Skinner, Jason Daniele, Jolie Fisher, Scott Ellis, Mike Isaacson, Norm Lewis, Karen Ziemba, Ken Page, Victor Garber, Brandon and James, Treat Williams, Kelly O'Hara, Jason Alexander, Gary Cole, Jake Speck and Matt Logan, Patty Lapone, Cheetah Rivera and Lisa Mordante, Debbie Gibson, Michael Feinstein, Adam Gettle, Judy Kuhn, Marcy Heisler and Zena Goldrich, Phil McKinley, Michael Riedel, Melora Hardin, in Shirley Jones and the Cassidys, Jim Caruso and the leading ladies of Broadway, Kristen Chenoweth, John Stamos, Sierra Bogus, Jenny Powers and Matt Cavanaugh, Tyler Peck, John Rua and Luke Hawkins, John Doyle, Shoshana Bean, Stephanie Block, Charlotte Dembois, Alexa Pena Vega and Carlos Pena Vega, Jerry Zaks, Mandy Barnett, the Disney princesses, Laura Osnes, Susan Egan, Adam Levy, Aisha Jackson, Benjamin Rahula, and the 30th anniversary cast of Assassins, Stephen Sondheim and John Weidman. Those are the people that have helped Studio Tenn Talks. I love you all. I thank you all, and we'll see you.